Hello students, in this video we are going to study about the networking device which in our previous video we have already completed with the Ethernet card. So today we are going to study about the modem. Okay, I hope all know what exactly the modem is. Okay, maybe some of you are having modem at your home, right? So this modem actually stands for modulator and demodulator. Now look at this slide. So I just want to explain why exactly we need the modem. Modem is nothing but it is a networking device that helps you to connect to the internet. Okay, so it actually helps the two different computer systems to communicate with each other over the internet. Fine. So let us just explain you this one image. So now let us consider this to be as the sender and this has to be as the receiver. Okay, I already said in our regular classes that usually internet will be carried by the telephone lines. So when I say about the telephone lines, obviously the nature of the signals will be analog, which is this one. These kinds of signals will be carried by the telephone lines, but what kind of signals what our computer systems are having is the digital signals, which are zeros and ones. Okay, now let us think, if I don't have this modem, now two computer systems wants to communicate with each other, they are placed at the different location. So once this computer system sends the data, wherein the data is in the form of digital, okay, it has to reach to the public telephone network, okay, the telephone lines which has to carry your internet connection to the other end. But what is the nature of this telephone network is analog. So they are sending data as digital, but the nature of this telephone network to carry is analog. So by the time the digital signals will reach, it will never be detected by the telephone network, because the telephone network doesn't understand what kind of signals are these, right? Similar way at the other end also, if the signals come at this point of the time, these are in the form of analog signals, but your computer system is in the form of digital. When these analog signals are passed, your computer doesn't accept the data, because its nature is to have the digital signals, not to understand the analog signals. So in order to solve this problem, we have a networking device known as the modem. Okay, and this modem actually stands for the modulator and demodulator. You can also say it as modulation or demodulation. Now let us understand what exactly the modulation is. Fine. See here, your computer system is communicating in the form of digital. So converting this form of digital signals into the analog form is nothing but this process is called as the modulation. So we need here as a modulator, as a device. Okay, so once your computer system sends the data which is in the form of digital, so the modulator which is present here has the capability of converting this digital data into the analog signals, and further these analog signals will reach to the public telephone network, which have the capacity to identify. They have to be in specific frequency, then only this public telephone network will recognize those signals. So this public telephone network will accept these analog signal, go to the destination point. Now the process of converting this digital into the analog is nothing but modulation. But at the receiving end, okay, at the receiving end, so at this point of time we receive what? Analog signals, but we cannot directly pass these analogs to your computer system. In that case, I need a demodulator. Okay, I need a demodulator as networking device. So the demodulator job is to convert this analog signals back again into these digital signals, and then hand over these digital signals to your specific destination. That is nothing but the process is nothing but demodulation, which is being done by the demodulator. I hope I'm very much clear. The process of converting this analog signal into the digital signals is called as a demodulation process, which is being done by the demodulator. Now if a sender wants to communicate, okay, now sender is maybe the two computer system. each computer system have the capability to accept and receive. So in this situation, we need a modulator plus a demodulator. Two devices I need, two different networking devices I need, because if you are acting as a sender, you have to use the modulator as a device, and at the time of receiver you have to make use of the demodulator device. So in order to have the two different devices, they have combined both the modulation process and the demodulation process in a single device known as the modem. That is why modem actually stands for modulator and demodulator. MO, that stands for modulator, DEM stands for demodulator. They have combined both this process into the single device that is known as modem. That is why no matter you send the signals or you receive the signals, this modem has the capability to convert the digital signals into analog and back again at the time of receiving analog back again to the digital. Hence it is known as the modem. Okay, so here what is the main work of modem is, modem actually changes the digital data from the computer into the analog signals. Okay, at the time of receiving the modem, at the receiving call, it actually changes the analog signals back again to the digital data to the computer. The shift between the digital data to the analog and back again from analog to the digital allows two different computers to communicate with each other. Hence it is called as modulation and demodulation. Okay, now let us understand the working of modem. So working of modem involves several steps. So in order to clearly understand, understand, I have written in the form of steps like this. But in examination, you have to write these all steps in terms of points, not in this diagrammatic form. Just to make you all to clearly understand, I have written all those points in the form of diagrammatic form here. Okay. Now let us start with the working. Now let us consider these are the two different computers. Now these computers can also be called as the terminals. Okay. Now let us understand. The first step is the modem actually converts this digital data signals to the audio frequency signals. What I was using as analog signals, they are nothing but the audio frequency signals, which are in the frequency range that the telephone lines can recognize it. Okay, this modem converts its digital signals. Now when it is converting, always it is, the process is nothing but the modulation here. It is converting into audio frequency tones which are in the frequency that the telephone lines can transmit. Okay, it will recognize and it will transmit at the other end. And at the other end, what happens, it can also convert the transmitted tones. Now these are nothing but your transmitted tones back again into the digital information. That is done by the demodulation, which is again nothing but the modem. I hope you are understanding. The first step is your computer system will transmit the digital data, which will be converted in the form of audio frequency tones which are in the range of telephone lines which can transmit them. At the other end, the transmitted signals will be converted back again into the digital data and then given to the at the other end. Now next steps what we are studying is, before it transmit the data, what connections are being done between the computer and the modem. Okay, before any transmission takes place at this part, we are not studying this part, how the telephone lines are transmitting. We are not studying this. We are studying what are the connections, internally connections will be done between this computer and this modem, how exactly the modem accepts the data in order to forward it to the destination. This part, the connection between the computer and the modem, we are further going to discuss. Now let us see the second point. Okay, after the power is turned on, that means once the main switch, now think that at your home the computer is there and the modem. Let us take as the three different computers are there with one modem connection. Okay, all that modem has been connected with all the three computer system. So no matter, now let us name those computer systems as A, B, C. Okay, no matter whichever computer system you take it, once the power supply is on, the main power switch, when if you on, okay, the data terminal equipment, that means I already said the terminal computer is can also be called as a terminal, terminal. The data terminal equipment, that means your computer will actually runs for the self check. Self check means what? Once the power supply is on, first thing is your operating system will be loaded. Am I right? Once the operating system is loaded, then the power supply will be given to all the external devices. Once the CPU is on, the power supply you can see it on your, the next power supply we may go for the keyboard, then you can see the lights on your keyboard, then a power supply may go to the speakers, the power supply may go to the mouse. Like this, the power supply will go to all the external devices once the operating system is being loaded into the computer's memory. Same way, modem is also an external device. Understood? So once the power supply is on, your computer system will runs for the self check. I am telling about what exactly the self check happens. Operating system will be loaded and the power supply will be passed to all the external devices. Okay, in the meantime, this computer will set a signal known as data terminal ready signal. That means there is certain signals in the computer which will set as the data terminal ready signal. This signal tells to the modem, because power supply will also be given to the modem also. It will tell the modem that I am ready. That means your connected terminal is ready. Okay, it tells to the modem that I am ready. So for that to say, the data terminal ready signal will be set. Okay, next step. Now this one is data communication equipment, that is modem. We'll see it in the third step what exactly happens. Now in your previous step, our terminal had got a power supply. Now when the modem is powered up and ready to transmit the data, that means I said firstly your operating system will be loaded, then the power supply will be start giving to the external device. Think that the power supply is being given to the modem. Now what exactly modem will do? Okay, once the modem will first assert in the sense set. Okay, assert in the sense set. The modem will assert the data set ready signal. Okay, data set ready signal to the terminal. That means the modem also will reply back to the computer that even I am ready for data, to receive the data. Now see here, before transmission takes place, the computer will inform modem that it is ready. How it is informing? By setting a signal known as data terminal ready signal. Similar way, when the modem gets the power supply, modem also will reply back to the terminal by setting or asserting the signal known as data set ready signal, to indicate that even the modem is ready. Okay, now always remember one point thing is, when the modem is there at your home, always a modem will be given with a unique number. As you on the power supply, modem actually dials up that unique code. Okay, it will dial to that unique code to check to which computer it is connected to. What unique code to check whether I have connected to the computer, that is the correct computer, I have the connection or no. Now as I previously gave an example, A, B, C, 3 computers are there. Think that A is connected, B is connected, A is connected, B and C are not connected with you, with this modem. Okay, in that case, how the modem has to understand? So when it dials that specific code, okay, when it dials for the specific number to that computer will automatically recognize that is the unique code given to that modem. Then they will then the modem will, once the dial up, that time modem will make a dial up to the terminal with that specific or the unique code. Now once the terminal recognizes or your computer recognizes that code, the terminal will reply with a specified tone to the modem. A tone will be sent to the modem. Then the modem will understand, yes, this is the computer to which I have connected to. All the modems. Okay, that is why you can see that as soon as you on the modem power supply, you can hear one beep sounds in the modem. That is nothing but the modem has sent a code to your computer system, and your computer system has replied back to the modem that that is the correct computer which it has made the connection. And you can see the blinking lights also on your modem. Okay, so what we are exactly studying is before transmitting what exactly the connections has to be made between this computer and this modem. All this what we are discussing will be done by internally between the computer and the modem itself. We need not to do anything externally. Understood? Now let us study the fourth point, which is very important. Okay, so all these dial-up tones, specified tones, everything will be done. Next, in the fourth point, what happens now? This terminal. Okay, so when the terminal has the characters to send, now connection is being done. When the terminal has the characters to send, terminal will have to first request to the model. It has to request to the modem by sending a signal known as request to send. A simple example I'll give you why I have to go for this request to send signal is because think that some minister is coming to Hubli city. Okay, so what exactly they do is they will inform all the traffic police in the Hubli city through which road they have to pass through. So the police at the highway, they will inform to the traffic police in the Hubli city to keep the lane free. They will request so and so minister is visiting, so we are coming, like this. They will intimate. That intimation is nothing but terminal has to request before it sends anything to the modem. It has to request by sending a signal known as request to send signal. Once this happens, under the manual or the terminal control, this modem will send a signal known as carrier detect signal. Okay, once the terminal requests to this modem will send a signal known as carrier detect signal. This carrier detect signal, what it does is it will establish the physical connection between this terminal and this modem. Now you may ask why exactly this carrier detect signal is required. As I said, let us take with three examples, A, B, C, with three computer systems. Now think that in this scenario, A is also connected, B is also connected, and C is also connected to the modem. Okay, think that A is already communicating with the B, A is already communicating with the modem. Simultaneously, B also wants to send the data. While A is already, it is making an arrangement, it wants to send the data. Okay, simultaneously B also wants to send the data. In that case, how the modem has to recognize? So it will do it. It will accept the data based upon first come first serve. In that case, modem has to establish the physical connection between the terminal and the modem. With whomever it is establishing the connection, almost with all the three, it will establish the connection. But before transmitting, it has to, as we have studied in the circuit switching technique, without having the physical connection, we cannot transmit the data. Same thing happens here also. Before transmitting, they have to physically establish the connection. Once after this, what happened is, modem will again has to reply back to the terminal by sending a signal known as clear to send signal. This is very important. Once the modem sends us clear to send signal, then only this particular user A or the computer A will have the chance to transmit the data. Then the terminal will start sending the serially data characters to the modem. I said A, B and C all are connected. A is already transmitting. Same time B wants to transmit the data to the other end, to the modem. That time modem is already established. Modem is already communicating with this terminal. Until and unless that modem gives the clear to send signal to that particular user B cannot send the data through the modem. It has to wait, because the clear to send signal is given to this user A, this computer A. Okay, same way. Okay, until and unless this clear to send signal is being given to particular computer system, no computer system can transmit the data. Right now it is busy with the user A. So once this signal is given to this terminal, then the terminal will recognize and it will start sending the data serially. I hope it is very much clear. Now think that now the characters, all the characters is being sent by the terminal. Okay, now all the character, maybe if it is at the last character to be sent. So when the terminal has sent all its characters, it makes the request to send signal. This is RTS is nothing but this one, request to send signal, very high. Once this request to send signal is high, because it is being given to the modem, right? Once this RTS signal is high, modem will clearly understand that is all the characters are being end. That means all the characters are being sent by the terminal. Then it will unassert this clear to send signal. Okay, unaccept means it will remove that signal. It will remove this signal and hence it will stop transmitting. Now this is with user A. B is already is in queue. Okay, simultaneously C also wants to come in. That time already carrier detect connection establishment will be done with the B and C also. Then second chance will be given to the user B based upon first come first serve. First come first serve. Then the modem will send a signal, clear to send signal to user B. That time B computers can start transmitting. Okay, until this carrier detects signal, no matter how many computer systems are connected to the computer, with the modem, all will have these all steps. Okay, only at the time of transmitting your data, modem has to send the signal, clear to send signal to that particular terminal. So once that it has to request, then modem has to send this CTS signal. Once it is set, then it will start transmitting. If that is the last character, then request to send signal will be high. That makes an indication to the modem to understand that all the characters which are there in the terminal has been sent. After that, further modem will convert all your data into the, and whatever the simultaneously it will be converting whatever the digital data you are sending, that will be simultaneously converted analog into analog signals. Then further modem will send these signals to the in the form of audio frequency, which with these are in the frequency range where the telephone lines can detect. Okay, and then those analog signals will be converted, then those will be reach to the destination. Before it reach to the destination, those will have to be converted by the modem. Again, at the receiving end, similar handshakes will happen. Handshakes in the sense similar connection. How the connection at this point by data terminal ready signal, okay, request to send signal, okay, all the different kinds of data set ready signal, dial-up specified, whatever the connections between this at the sender side happens, same connection will be done at the receiver side also, between this modem and the computer. Similar handshakes will happen at the other end also. Then this modem will convert that analog to the digital and then hand over the data to the destination. This is how the working of the modem will be. This is very easy to see. The points are many, but if you learn through this in the diagrammatic form, it is very to understand. But it is not been allowed to write your answer in this form in the examination. Please write it in the form of points. I have, for the explanation purpose, I have written in the diagrammatic form. Clearly you understand this, all these steps. It is very, very easy. Okay, and modem actually comes in the two forms. One is internal modem, one is the external modem. Okay, this internal modems will be fixed within the computers. So at the high-end computers and all, they come with the internal modem. But whatever we are using the computers in our college, computer lab and all, we are using the external modems. Okay, the modems that are connected externally to the computers, the other peripherals, they are being connected. Such modems are usually called as an external. At your home, whatever you are having, these are all external modems. Okay. Now let us see the next networking device, that is the hub. This hub we have already studied in the star topology. Am I right? The hub is nothing but it's a hardware device that is used to connect the several computers together. Can you see? This is acting as a central device to which all the several different computer systems are connected to. So if it is in the form of star, then I can say it's a star topology. Okay. Now this hub actually consists of multiple independent but connected modules of a network. You can see these are nothing but multiple independent connected modules of a network. Why we call it as multiple connected modules of a network? Because now think that what is the capacity of this network right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ports are there. Usually hubs will come with the ports with 2. Okay, 2, 4 and 8. So many ports you can have. Only 2 or 4 or 8. That's the maximum capacity. How many ports has to be there onto the hub. Now this is what is only 8 different computers I can connect. What if I want to extend my network? What if I want to connect 14 or 10 or 12 computers? So in that case, what you will do, you will disconnect this one, a LAN wire Ethernet cable you will take, you will plug into this unavailable port. Let us take these are two different hubs. Now 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 my network size has to be 12. Now what I'll do is I'll unplug this one. I'll plug the Ethernet cable. Now what cable we are using is this, all is Ethernet cable. When I was explaining about Ethernet card, I've shown how exactly the Ethernet cables look like, isn't it? So I'll take that Ethernet cable and make a connection between this one and this one. I'll connect this to this. When I connect to this, that means extra 3 different computers I can connect to. Okay, this is how I can enhance my network size. That is why I said it consists of multiple modules of a network. Now these are called as the modules of the network because they are helping you to extend the size of your network. And inter-network equipment. Inter-network equipment is nothing but this hub itself. Okay, it can also be called as the concentrator. So concentrator is a device that provides a central connection point. It is acting as a central connection point for cables. Okay, for the cables which will connect the different workstations, servers, or the peripherals. Okay, next is hub includes a series of ports that each accept the network cable, isn't it? These are nothing but the ports. Ports actually provides you the connection. Okay, it has a series of ports that accepts the network cable, and hub can forward the data packets to all the connected workstations. Okay, hub provides all the packets available to all these workstations. Now in one example I'll tell you. Okay, suppose think that this is the sender, okay, and this is this node is the receiver. Now if the sender sends a message known as hi, okay, that hi message will go to this port. Now that packet will be made available to all of the ports, okay, all of the connected ports. Okay, that hi message will also come to this node, it will come to this node, it comes to this node, this as well as it reaches to the destination. What does the other computer system will do? They will always, when I said about the packets, obviously it will be having the sender IP address and the receiver's IP address and the actual data what is to be sent, right? These node will check an incoming packets. They will check for the destination address on incoming packets. When it doesn't match, it will discard. So similarly, all these nodes will discard. So when that packet reaches to this destination, IP address matches, and hence this packet will be accepted by this destination. Similarly, when this destination wants to reply back, it may send the message as hello. That hello, it will reach to this port, and then that packet hello will be given to all the connected ports. It will make available that packet. A copy of that packet will be sent to all the connected nodes, and then a hello packet will be seen by all these computer systems. That means these all computer systems will come to know what exactly these two computers are exchanging the information. That is the major disadvantage in case of the hub. Okay, hub will actually broadcast the packet. Broadcast, it means it will send that copy of the packet to all the connected nodes. But it can be a disadvantage, it can be an advantage also. Suppose if one port, if it is not working, it will not stop the the network will not fail. Instead, by some or the other way, the other ports will be working. So finally, suppose this port, if it is not working, a packet will be made available to all the connected nodes. If this node is not working, means okay, the packet may skip this port and it will make available to the other port, so that somehow it will reach to the destination also. Okay, so this is how exactly the hub works. What is the main work of the hub? It actually acts as a central connection point to which different computers or the workstations or the several servers, peripherals can also have the connection. Okay, now let us see what exactly the disadvantage of this hub. First thing is, this hub has the major role. If suppose, for example, I'll show this one. You can see this, you can clearly understand this. This is the hub and this is the switch. Switch we will discuss in the next topic video. So this is hub. It will broadcast the data to all the connected computers, to this also, to this also. This hub is not at all an intelligent. Whatever the packets it will get, it will make that packet to the available. Now there are two different, that is a disadvantage. It is sending the, say, your packet to all the connected computers. That is this major disadvantage hub, and nowadays we are not even using the hubs. Okay. Then there are two types of hubs. One is the active hub and one more is the passive hub. What exactly the work of active hub is? It actually amplifies the signal. Okay, active hub, it will electrically amplify the signals as it moves from one connected device to the another connected device. And active concentrator or active hub are used as a repeaters to extend the length of the network. Now I can show you here. Think that this is the active hub. Okay, so when the user sends your packet, first it will come here, packet will come. By the time it travels from here to here, your signal, so when the sender sends the signal, it will be a very clean signal, and you are using a cable, that is Ethernet cable. By the time it may reaches your hub, it may be smaller signal, distorted signal, means the strength may be loosened. If at all, if I am using the active hub, it will regenerate your signal. Okay, the active hub usually act as a repeater. We have already studied this repeater in case of bus topology. Repeater work is, it will enhance the signal strength, it will regenerate the signal strength. So here, for example, this is a clean signal, your signal has passed to this. Now here is an active hub. After passing through that active hub, your packet, which has to go to rest of all the different workstation, when the outcoming packet, you will have the clean signal only. The signal strength will remain the same as it has been sent by the sender. This is what is the active hub. Active hub, it will electrically amplify the signals as though the sender is just beside, because the Ethernet cable can vary the size. It can, if in our computer lab, almost 50 different computers are being connected. So if the from the destination A to 5, A to 7 or A to 8, this length will be there. No, by the time it reaches to your destination, the signal strength may be weakened. In that case, I have to use the active hub. Now what next? One more is the passive hub. The passive hub is nothing but it will allow the signals just to pass through from one computer to another without any changes. This can be a passive hub. It will not regenerate whatever. So if the sender is sending the packet here, if the signal strength is distorted also, the passive hub, same way it will pass to the rest of the connected hub. There will be no change in the signal during transmission. Okay, and it will send the data packet as it is. It is not amplifying or nothing like that. Okay, that is the work. Amplifying is nothing that is being done. Amplifying means what? Strengthening the signal strength. Okay, that kind of amplifying will be done only by the active hub. So rest of the networking devices we'll see in our next video. Thank you.